It's a beautiful Sunday, February 15th, and you're listening to the Oklahoma Breakdown with Ikard and Lehman, presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's #1 casino, but it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful, award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack, match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, co-raps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, always a good time. And did you survive Valentine's Day, Ted?
Yeah, I survived it. Maybe I'm old, whatever, but we don't venture out very much for Valentine's Day anymore.
We have done the same thing for years. We go eat burgers and French fries together.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Is it Tucker's?
I don't understand some people's willingly signing up to be stressed for this holiday that really isn't anything. Maybe that makes me boring. I don't know. I did take my kids. I took both of my older boys to go pick out flowers for their mom. So that's turned into a bit of a tradition. Hey, let's go get mom flowers, make her feel special. But other than that, man, it kind of just fades away the older you get, the more kids you have. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true. You start to view it for kind of what it is, which is fine. Hey, people that want to go out for Valentine's Day, I love it. Let's get the economic motor purring a little bit, get people out. But for us, we kind of hang around the house.
Don't give me a set menu. Don't tell me what I have to eat, okay?
Right.
I don't like that. It's so chaotic. And I understand. I'm sure there are still some people out there, married couples with children, that love Valentine's Day, that do it big, that, they get the babysitter, they go to a romantic dinner. That's awesome. Good for you. Just not for me,
Right. I get it. Yeah, I think you're right. The kids situation usually kind of throws. Maybe someday you'll be able to, reignite that Valentine's Day a little bit. But
it's somehow, when you have little kids, Valentine's Day somehow becomes about your kids now. My wife's got us in matching pajamas and getting them gifts for it. I'm just over here. Guess what I got for Valentine's Day, Ted?
I don't know.
Nothing. Which is completely fine with me.
That's
Meanwhile,
good.
my children, just heart gifts, all kinds of things, candy, all that stuff. It becomes about the children.
That's right. Whoa. Shocker. What doesn't,
This is my shocked face. Before we break down these staff changes for OU football, we've got a first in the history of the podcast, Ted.
Okay.
We've got some discounted OU athletics tickets
Ooh.
that were sent our way. So, #1 OU versus #2 LSU, women's gymnastics, this Friday, February 20th, 7:45, prime time, baby. These are the last two national champs in women's gymnastics at the Lloyd Noble Center. There will be a link in the show notes for $7 tickets.
Okay. I like it.
KJ Kindler wants this place packed.
Yeah.
And KJ Kindler scares me.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not hard to get motivated for this one. Anytime LSU, because we're still in a deficit to LSU, we still owe them quite a bit.
We want that place packed. We want these ladies to have the home gym advantage they deserve. So
that'll be big, though.
Click the link in the show notes. As far as I know, this is an exclusive discount they sent to our show. At least that's how the ticketing people made it sound. Maybe they're just trying to make us feel good. But #1 versus #2 at the LNC for $7.
That's awesome.
Get them while they last, people.
That's awesome.
Get them while they last. It was a big week for OU football, man.
No doubt. No
And
doubt.
we'll talk about the 10 guys getting invited to the combine, kind of what that means, the positive trend there. We'll talk about that on Wednesday. But Ted, let's focus on the staff changes today. DeMarco Murray is now the running backs coach for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That happened quickly. That happened quickly. I know there had been some rumors and stuff, and over the last couple years, he had, you know, sounds like been fielding offers from different schools and NFL, and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's a nice opportunity. You can't be mad at DeMarco for making a jump to the NFL. There's a lot of trade-offs between coaching college football and coaching NFL football. There's some difference there, and maybe that's going to suit the schedule he wants a little bit more. I don't know, but we lost a good one. Opens up a coaching spot, and right as Venables fills one on the defensive side, here we go on the offensive side, and I don't know. I think DeMarco, the running back position has kind of been under the microscope and under some criticism, and I think there's a lot of reasons for that, and I'm sure we'll get into them. But all in all, I think that what you want is a coach to be leaving and having their position group in a better situation than whenever they got it. And I think you could definitely say that about Valai. And I think you could say that about DeMarco Murray's running back room as well. With what we've got coming in with the new guys, some of the returners. And I think that, the future is looking bright for the running backs. I'll be interested to see what direction Brent Venables goes.
Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be plenty of guys interested in that job.
Yep.
And you're starting to see some big names kind of be connected to the job. We'll see. It's got to be the right fit for Venables, for this staff, for this program. But DeMarco's coaching legacy that he leaves behind at OU, it's an interesting one, right?
Yeah, it is.
Because he undoubtedly, he recruited at a high level. I mean, it was DeMarco Murray, and that was the expectation when he joined the staff all the way back in 2020. It's like, hey, man, this guy is an OU legend. He was Offensive Player of the Year in the NFL. He's going to be a high-level recruiter, and if you can get really talented backs into the program, then we should be just fine, right?
Yep.
But there was a lot of change between when he took that job and where the program's at and where college football is at now.
No doubt.
So that was his run between 2020 and now. So many things changed. Clearly going from Lincoln Riley to Brent Venables, and then all the NIL and rev share, all this stuff has changed. But I don't think the interesting way that the running back situation went over the last several years, I don't think that's going to mess with his legacy as a player at OU at all. I think everyone looks at it and goes, yeah, the coaching piece, it was kind of strange. The rotations were really strange at times, but the guy's still one of the best running backs in the history of OU football. So I don't know. It just is it's kind of a weird ending to a strange coaching stretch at the alma mater. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. And, that's always, it's nice to have people on your staff that have been a part of the program and played there and understand the tradition, understand the culture, know what it means. But it also puts everyone in a weird spot, and we've seen that play out a couple of different times. But I think you're right. I don't think DeMarco Murray is going to be viewed any differently, negatively at all. I mean, people want more production out of the running backs. Understandable. That's just how it's going to be, right? No matter who's coaching those positions, this fan base is going to demand production, development, improvement. But I think he did some really good things as a coach. He did better things as a player. And I think everyone's back to, okay, we can love DeMarco Murray, the player again, right? And there was kind of a different dynamic. And, that's what happens. That's the nature of the beast. But yeah, you're right. His legacy intact.
Coming off the Jay Knott situation in the 2025 season, and then you think about how things went for Taylor Tatum, who was the number one running back coming out of high school. I think that's kind of OU fans' most recent discussions about DeMarco Murray as a coach. But I assume the fan base looks at this and goes, wait, Andy Reid wants him as his running backs coach. He can't be that bad. You
No
know what I
doubt.
mean? Like,
Yep.
one of the best coaches in all of football wants him to come coach his running backs.
And
So
what was it? Ohio
just,
State wanted him last year, right?
yeah, I mean, several big time programs have come after him. Several NFL teams have come after him. And I think that this was just one of those opportunities where, hey, you got a chance to go learn from Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. Like, it's one of the most well-respected organizations in all of professional sports. They're the consistent success they've had over the last several years, I mean, speaks for itself. I do think the dynamic between him and Eric Bieniemy is going to be very interesting because those are two fiery dudes that are going to be working together, which should be a lot of fun. But I feel like it was just too good of an opportunity for DeMarco to pass up. That's just kind of the sense I get.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a similar situation to Valai, you know. Um, you get an opportunity to go to a place like Buffalo, who is pulling out all the stops. They got the championship window right now, and they know that they're making moves and getting aggressive, and they want to go sell out, try and make it to a Super Bowl. It's a little bit different, but in the same sense, Kansas City, when you got a franchise quarterback like Mahomes, like, and kind of retooling a little bit, they're always going to be prime at any moment to start playing really good ball and make another run at a Super Bowl. So, I mean, you can't knock those decisions too much. Like, when you got quarterbacks in the NFL, like those two teams have, typically, not always the case, obviously, but typically it's a more secure job than pretty much anywhere else in the NFL. If you got a quarterback that's going to be sticking around, a lot of the staff, a lot of the players will be too.
Buy some jackets, DeMarco. Gets cold there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It gets cold in Kansas City. But I spring ball's right around the corner.
Yeah.
So you would assume that Brent Venables wants to fill this vacancy quickly. So I don't know how long we're going to have to wait for this position to get filled, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be long, right?
I agree. I imagine. And this thing, this rumor had kind of been floating around for a while. And obviously last year, the Ohio State situation was there. So I'm sure, like, behind the scenes, the gears have been turning a little bit. Like, I don't know necessarily that Venables has been talking to anyone or talking to agents or anything, but I imagine that it's one of the position groups where he probably has a little Rolodex of coaches that he has his mind on should anything change. And here we are.
I do think you mentioned Valai and now DeMarco. I do think it's a very positive thing for the program overall that your coaches are getting hired by NFL teams. Because we all want this program to be a consistent college football playoff contender, right? Like, be in the playoff and have a chance to go win a championship. That's the expectation at OU. If you have that type of program, you're going to lose coaches.
Yep.
That's what happens.
When you win games, people are going to try and get your people.
Exactly. So it's a positive sign overall. And I think that a lot of college coaches, pro coaches, are going to look at it and go, Venables is starting to send some guys in the NFL. And I do think still with how chaotic college football is, there's a lot of coaches interested in being a position coach in the National Football League instead of being in college. So sending your position coaches from college to the NFL may get some other coaches' attention and make them go, oh, you looks pretty good right now. I like that opportunity.
Yeah. And yeah, the coaching world is interesting. You want to progress and make your way up the ladder, and the typical path is student assistant, GA, maybe an analyst role or some, different spot on the staff, and then you get a coaching or a position coaching job, and then you want to elevate that to a coordinator role, and then you want to step up maybe to a position coach with the big boys, some premier programs. You want to continue to increase that. And I got a feeling these days that, the off-ramp to the NFL with the college calendar and all it entails, and everyone knows the recruiting pieces and the portal pieces and, all the different things that you have to do. There's a lot more babysitting going on at the college level. So I think the off-ramp to the NFL has a totally different view than it did 8 years ago for college coaches. It was like, okay, NFL, that's a cool spot, but college is where it's at. Now guys that have been in college for a while are like, that NFL calendar sure looks really good.
An actual offseason. Very enticing. The Sooners made 2 other big staff changes. Let's break them down, Ted. But first, download the Loves app from Love's Travel Stops, your guide to savings on the road. Fill up for less with a discount on fuel, 10 cents off on every gallon of gas, and 25 cents off on every gallon of auto diesel. And don't forget, in the store, you can unlock mobile deals on the Loves app to save on snacks, drinks, and select meals at Love's restaurants. Plus, you can plan your pit stops for your next road trip with the map and route planner. All from Love's, the heart of the highway.
Steaks are back. Didi Ranch's luxury steak cuts are restocked and ready to ship straight to your door. From mouth-watering ribeyes to silky smooth fillets, this is the best beef Oklahoma has to offer. And here's the kicker. They're now shipping next day air for free when you use code SOONER at checkout. That's right. Next day air like Amazon Prime, but for steak. Didi Ranch delivers taste and tradition the luxurious way.
We were brought to you by Simple Modern, the Oklahoma-owned company and the OU Sooners official drinkware partner. All right, let's talk real life in February. Winter schedules are packed, sports seasons are rolling, and your family has shown up no matter the weather. Between early workouts, long game days, road trips, and cheering on the Sooners, it's where Simple Modern really shines. The Mesa Loop is built for every loop of your family's life. It takes you from the gym and the office to the practice fields and packed stadium seats. It's easy to carry, leak-proof, and keeps your drink cold from warm-ups through the final whistle. And like everything Simple Modern makes, it delivers serious quality at a price that makes sense. And with 10% of profits going to charity, many right here in Oklahoma, every sip supports Oklahomans. Simple Modern, good everywhere. The Oklahoma Sooners have their new defensive backs coach.
They do.
LaMar Morgan.
That's right.
Replacing Jay Valai as he has departed for the Buffalo Bills. News first reported by our podcast Twitter. How about that? Since when does that happen? What was that?
That was an interesting turn of events. But hey, the more you could do, right? Be versatile.
Don't get used to it, people. We were very uncomfortable. This is the best way to put it. We were not relaying information we were told. We were doing what we were told. Is that the best way to put it?
The package showed up unannounced on the doorstep,
It was certainly an interesting chain of events there, but diving into LaMar Morgan, his background, what he is as a coach, he was the defensive pass game coordinator and defensive backs coach at Michigan for the last 2 seasons. Going back a little bit before that, he was the DC at Louisiana for a couple of seasons. It it never hurts to add another guy with defensive coordinator experience, Ted. Brent Venables is just stacking guys with coordinator experience on the defensive side, man. It feels like LaMar Morgan bringing some serious value with his experience.
No doubt. And when I talked to Venables about him, um, he was real complimentary of his path and his experience. Some of the coaches that he's coached with spent some time on Franklin's staff and with some of those guys. And he's just continued to climb. And you don't climb through the ranks like he has without being really good on the X's and O's side and really good on the recruiting side and development side. So I think he kind of checks every single box. And talking about coaches going to the NFL, I mean, that's one of the things is this LaMar Morgan's had a bunch of offers come across his desk, okay, from some of the top schools in college football and even in the NFL. Teams have recently been making runs at him, like very recently during this search. So he's a guy that's wanted. He's turned a bunch of people away and was just looking for the perfect situation. Wasn't gonna rush into anything, wasn't gonna accept anything. He needed the perfect situation for him and his family, and Oklahoma was exactly that, which says a lot of things about kind of the atmosphere, the coaching atmosphere that Venables has created around the program and kind of the cachet that you have with the historical program that right now feels to be on the rise. So, having not met the guy and, just being able to read through his history really like everyone else and have a quick conversation with Coach Venables about him feels like a really good hire, a commodity that is hot out there. A lot of people wanted this guy on their staff, and he's coming to Oklahoma. I think you have to consider that a win.
There's a lot to be excited about. First of all, he's coming from Michigan. We all know what the expectations are at Michigan. So the pressure of coaching at a blue blood and like the expectations that come with that, that's not going to be foreign to him.
Yep.
Which is important. Like sometimes if a guy's coming from a different level, even though you're always feeling the pressure as a coach, especially if you were a coordinator like he was, but the microscope is just a little different at a place like Oklahoma. So I like that he had that experience that he had at Michigan. He played the position. I mean, this was a guy that played safety, and I know that that's not the most important thing, but we'd be lying if we said that didn't matter to the guys in the room, right?
Yep.
This is a guy that played the position back in the day at Louisiana. So like he has the former player perspective, which I think always is extremely valuable for a coach to have. He's from Texas, which last time I checked, we recruit Texas pretty hard. Ted has a bunch of connections there in Texas. And then from what I've been told, man, it has some deep ties in Louisiana.
Yep.
And last time I checked, Louisiana produces some athletes, man.
DBU is what they call it.
There is you combine those things, right? Came from Michigan, played the position, dialed in the state of Texas, in the state of Louisiana. That you throw on top of all that I've been told he's a tremendous family man, like has the exact makeup that Brent Venables wants for the guys on his staff. Like it feels like a really, really good fit, man.
And it's not a rebuild. When Valai came, it was a rebuild situation for the corners room. We've kind of had to go through the cycle a little bit there. And like I said earlier, Valai's leaving that room in a totally different situation than when he arrived. And I mean, you got to imagine for LaMar Morgan taking a quick scan of the roster and seeing who some of your guys are going to be. We don't have a shortage of defensive backs right now on roster. We've got, one of the more talented safety rooms in the country, in the conference, and corners starting to look that way too. You got two incumbents coming back and Eli Bowen and Cortland Guillory, who, Eli is going to be one of the better players in the conference as far as checking every box, competing for the football, doing all of the things that you ask of him. Now, he may not be a guy that you look at and say that's a future first rounder because he's limited just in some measurables, but he goes well above what his height and weight says he should. Cortland Guillory, in my mind, is on a different level. He's got the measurables. He's got that dog in him. I'm not going to put a limit as to what that kid could become. So you look at that, plus some good depth. Newcomb, I really like. We went out in the portal and got some guys. We got some young players.
Jacoby Johnson's one of the most athletic guys on the team, right?
Yeah.
So
and you're coming in with a group that is very knowledgeable. You're not going to be learning the system with those guys. Now you got new players, obviously, but there's some really good experience and depth and leadership in that room that have continued to get better and better. And I have to imagine that was a big factor in it, like going to be able to hit the ground running whenever I show up on campus.
Maybe the only red flag for LaMar Morgan. 3 master's degrees. Do you really need more than 2? I'm joking, clearly, but I was looking at his bio. I was like, my goodness, man, save some master degrees for the rest of us.
You got to like a guy that says, if I'm going to be on campus somewhere, I'm going to be taking advantage and just continue to pile just pad the stats on the education side.
That's impressive, like to just rack them up, dude. I suppose you can never have too many. But that was one of the things that stood out. I was like, wait a second, 3 master's degrees. My goodness. That dude must be big brain guy. Big brain guy has to be.
A big brain guy, and I'm going to see this through kind of guy, if he's going to start something, it feels like he's going to finish it. I like that.
Yeah. I was very impressed. A master's in business administration, a master's in educational administration and leadership, and then a master's from Vanderbilt in liberal arts and science. Big brain guy.
Yeah, let's balance that out though. Let's get something going in the STEM fields a little bit there. We're a little lacking, let's get a little more well-rounded. Come on.
We'll see if he'll challenge himself at one of the most prestigious universities in the country, the University of Oklahoma. We'll see.
Chemical engineering masters. Let's go.
Learn some oil and gas, LaMar. Come on, man. One more very important hire, in my opinion, that OU made this week. They hired Molly Jacoby as the director of recruiting. Now she's coming from a year at Florida State. She also, before that, held a similar role at North Carolina and did some really good things there. But there's something that I'm not sure is common knowledge among the fan base that is the most exciting part of her resume for me. She worked as a student for 4 years at Georgia for Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
So she has been part of one of the most competitive environments in the sport. She knows what it looks like. She knows how it has to be. Last time I checked, Georgia's recruited pretty well, Ted.
Yeah.
So it's kind of similar to what we said about LaMar Morgan coming from Michigan. Like, Molly Jacoby knows what it is, knows what the expectation is, knows what elite of elite looks like from a recruiting perspective and how you do everything, all the details, all that stuff. When I talked to some of the members of the staff about her, they're like, she knows what it takes because she absolutely lived and breathed it at Georgia.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting. You always have, it's not like, she'll be stepping on campus and we've got a big group of people that are like, we have no idea what to do. Like, help us out. You've got your methods, and they're doing pretty well here right now as it is. But the more you continue to pull and see where other people are having success, see what maybe your deficiencies are, where you're lacking, and continue to build to your process. That's what you got to do. You got to have good people around. And you hire people like this so they can come in and tell you what to do, right? And how to be better, not to force them into like your methods and have them conform. It's to get ideas, new processes, new vision for some direction that can get you to a better place. So I like it. I'd be lying if I said I have any expertise in what goes on in that department kind of behind the scenes. I know it's a lot. I mean, they do, all kinds of events, and just that's a very busy group. So I'm curious to see and kind of fascinated to see like what direction does it go, and where can we maybe see a difference or an impact right away.
And remember, the director of recruiting has to work with everyone in the program.
Yep.
You're working with Jim Nagy in the front office.
Yes.
You're working with Brent Venables and the coaching staff. And then you're working with compliance.
Yeah.
It's got to be the most fun part of the job for the director of recruiting. But you've got to balance all of that, and you've got to be able to relate to all those different groups. And that's, talking to some members of the staff about Molly Jacoby, one of them told me like, hey, she can go into a room, she can talk to the players, she can talk to the parents, and then she can speak the language back with the coaches. And I was like, okay. So it sounds like Molly Jacoby's just really cool.
Yeah.
So I am, she came highly, highly recommended. So I'm excited to see how she can take OU's recruiting efforts to the next level. And one of the members of the staff told me she's going to significantly elevate OU football in her role. That's a direct quote.
There you go.
So I don't know exactly what that means when it comes to a director of recruiting, but it sounds like she is like, she's a difference maker. How big of a difference maker with the way that the sport operates right now, I'm not sure, but it seems like they're very, very excited about this hire, which gets me excited.
That's kind of the thing. Like I said, it's hard to, that role is not as public facing as at least how I consume the sport, as a lot of the, like, you hire a running back coach, you can look pretty quickly and see what is the impact, what players are coming in, what's the production at the position, is it buttoned up, are those guys getting better? The recruiting one is a little bit different. It's I guess you could see a direct impact right away on recruiting class rankings and stuff like that. But at least for me, it's a little bit different to see what the direct impact is, because a lot of that stuff happens, behind the scenes or not publicly at a lot of their recruiting stuff. So it'll be kind of interesting to as this thing plays out, hear what people are saying and what are we doing different and what impacts are actually happening.
With how excited some members of the staff are about the hire, I'm excited about it.
Yep.
So we'll see. Clearly, everyone keeping a close eye on that 2027 recruiting class that is trending to be, possibly the number one class in the country.
Yeah.
So, dude, being a director of recruiting would be brutal. Like, all the visits, like organizing all of that, working with all the different people you have to work with. This is not an easy job, man. I was thinking through like all the details that you would have to be dialed in on. I was like, man, that's tough.
Oh my gosh. The thing about recruiting that a lot of people, you just don't see is, I take the summer or spring, whatever. I think we're in dead period right now, so it's a little bit different. But dude, hey, we got a nice little weekend planned. Okay, there's nothing going on, and then some recruit is like, hey, we're going to be in the area. Can we come in Saturday and see the facilities, or and then like you don't say, actually, no, we're going down to Dallas for a little weekend. No, it's like, oh yeah, absolutely. And then you just cancel everything that you had, and here you're coming in because, some recruit. It's a tough business, man, and you are always on. And you've got tons of events planned and things that are concrete, but you also have the random stuff that pops up nonstop.
Well, she's going to have to hit the ground running because I think it's March 7th is that
Is
that
the
big recruiting event.
junior day and
They're
stuff? Yeah,
they're going to have, and then we're going back to a normal spring game, right?
that's right.
And you got to imagine they're going to want that to be a big recruiting event as well. So she is absolutely getting thrown right into the fire, but it sounds like she is built for it. So
Yep.
I look forward to meeting her. Everything I've heard about her is that she's absolutely fantastic at this job. So that's great.
Gotta have it. You gotta be. I mean, you gotta have the best players. You gotta have the best coaches. You gotta have the best schemes. You gotta win in X's and O's. You gotta have money to do it all. This is just another piece. You gotta have the best people behind the scenes running all the departments. So, good hire. We'll see how it pans out.
She's going from, because when she was at Carolina, like when she left, that was when Belichick took over. So interesting vibe there for sure. And then the vibes at Florida State, where she's coming from, not great. This has got to be a breath of fresh air for her. Like Venables, the momentum of Oklahoma's program right now. I mean, she's got to be thrilled because she's been through it the last couple stops.
I'm conversation piece. Give us some North Carolina behind the scenes conversation.
I gotta ask about Lombardi. I have to be like, what was it like? I've had some interactions with that man. Yes, I look forward to hearing some stories from her for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get to football, guys. Talking basketball. The Sooners are hot, Ted. The Sooners
Red
are so hot. Popcorn machines are on fire, baby. Let's go.
It's a good sign, man. That's whenever you know you're heating up. That's hilarious.
But first,
Schwab Meat has been smoking the highest quality meats, hot dogs, and sausages in OKC since 1912. Go to schwabmeat.com to order any of Schwab's outstanding products and use promo code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab dogs are iconic. I like to keep it simple. Just a bun, dog, mustard, ketchup. Also, the jalapeno cheddar smoked sausage is ridiculous. schwabmeat.com, code OKBreakdown for free shipping on orders over $75. Schwab Meat, the official hot dog of game days.
and head to the garage for hand smashed patties, butter toasted buns, and ice cold beer. My go-to is the double bison cheeseburger. It's so good. The garage is the perfect spot to watch any big game, and you can enjoy Rad Hour every day. Enjoy discounted domestic beers, house wines, draft cocktails, and frozen cocktails Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Visit eatatthegarage.com to find a location near you or order online from the garage in your neighborhood.
Insurica's launched a new digital agency introducing Insurica Direct. Whether you're in Oklahoma or anywhere across the U.S., they've got you covered. From small business insurance and health insurance for your employees to insurance for individuals like home, auto, and even Medicare supplements. Insurica Direct's got it all. Start your journey today at insuricadirect.com. Remember, at Insurica, we specialize in you.
All right, time for some football, guys. Talking basketball, FGTB, and let's start with OU men's hoops. Ted, another win, racking them up. Don't let the Sooners get hot. 94-78 over Georgia. And listen, I know Georgia's best player didn't play. I get that, but it's still a nice win over an SEC team that a lot of people think's going to the tournament. Man, it was exciting but frustrating all at one time because they were awesome in that second half, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it just makes you realize, like, when they play their best ball, they're a pretty dang good basketball team.
When they're firing the three like they are, and I mean, I go back to before the season started, asking Toby about some of the players, and we've seen a couple flashes of it with the talk where he can absolutely dial that three in, and whenever he's feeling it, he's red hot. I think Toby said a lot of the coaches said he's the best 3-point shooter they've ever seen, and he's not a totally well-rounded player, and there's some give and take whenever he's out there on the floor. But my goodness, when he gets hot, look out.
You have to wonder, because remember, there was that stretch. They were losing a lot of games, and Atak was not playing.
Yep.
Really at all. You have to wonder if Porter's going, man, I should have just been willing to live with him being a bit of a liability on defense just to trade it off for the shooting. I'm sure he's thought about that quite a bit. But that second half, man, it was really refreshing and also frustrating to watch for me because they were just so solid on both ends.
Dude, I walked out of the room for what felt like no time at all and came back. It was like, what happened? I mean, it's crazy. Remind me, okay, it's been a long time ago, but there was a Thunder player, and I was trying to think of it the other day, that tried to, or not tried, but did, how he catches it right here and he doesn't.
Anthony Morrow.
Is that who it was? Okay.
Yes,
I
no
remember
dip.
that.
The no dip Anthony Morrow, the quickest trigger in the NBA, baby.
Yeah, and that's what it reminds me of. And it's just, it looks so good whenever he's on, man. It looks like you cannot stop that. And he's like, I don't know, he's like 6'9" with incredibly long arms. It's really cool to see.
So you had Atak and Pack shooting the lights out, right? What were we? 14 to 25 from three, shot it great. But then you also had, I really liked how aggressive Tay Davis was, especially in that second half, just attacking the rim. Yep. Maybe the most significant thing when you compare what happened in the first half to what happened in the second half and why the Sooners were able to kind of walk away from the Dogs was all those easy baskets at the rim that Georgia was getting in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
OU significantly reduced them in the second half.
Yep.
Like all those points in the paint that Georgia was piling up early, those did not happen nearly as often in the second half. I thought that they went on that run. What was it, like 18-0 run? Ended up being like a 27-5 run overall. Like their confidence just built and built and built. And because they were having so much success shooting the ball and playing really well offensively, I thought that translated to them playing defense at a high level. It was this is the best thing I could say. At no point when they were making that run in the second half did I go, they're going to let this lead slip away. Like, and just the way the guys were carrying themselves, the confidence they were playing with, I never felt that impending doom that I felt in several games with this team this year. I don't know. It was a great feeling just sitting there going, I'm confident they're going to win because I don't know. They just looked a little different, man. I don't know. It was really fun to watch.
Yeah. I don't know. You see in baseball or other sports, like when you need a rally, something strange happens. I mean, baseball has all kinds of weird things, but I guess our new tradition is to light a popcorn stand on fire. Is that what we need to do just to get the thing going?
They had to win the game after that happened, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone in the building was like, we have to win or else this is going to be all over the place. Now it was all over Twitter because there was a little delay when they had to put the fire out, but there would have been too much symbolism for the season. You could not lose that game after that popcorn machine caught on fire. You just couldn't. You couldn't.
No,
And respect to Porter Moser and those players for recognizing that. And they
I,
took care of business. They took care of business. They could not let the popcorn machine fire happen and lose the game. That would have been the breaking point for the fan base.
you probably had to have a conversation, be like, guys, listen, okay, we are where we are, and that's fine. Everyone knows the situation, but if our backs could be any more against the wall, they are. Let me just tell you the rundown right now. The meme situation is going to be out of control. We have to win this basketball game.
I really wonder if they talked about it. Like, it wouldn't shock me if they did, but about the fire. Do you think there was a I'm talking a minuscule piece of OU's administration that was like, don't put that fire out? I'm just saying, if you could shoot true serum into them, inject them with some true serum, I guarantee you, maybe don't guarantee you, I think there's a strong likelihood that some very high-ranking OU officials were like, just let that thing burn, man.
Oh, where's the fire extinguisher? I can't find it. Oh my gosh, this is horrible.
This building that has been a constant topic of discussion. Yeah, just let this thing burn, man. Just let it
Let
burn.
it burn. Oh, that was good. But hey, man, what a game. Whatever. I don't know what the future holds with this team, but they found a little something. Going and beating Vanderbilt, whatever. I know how the end of the game was. It was tough. They got out of there with the win. That's still a really good quality win. Beating Georgia, you're at home. I mean, just to get that one going, like the better they play, the less pressure is going to be there. And, who knows what could happen? Just that's all you got to say. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, they took care of the ball. They shot it really
go.
well and took care of the ball. They only had 7 turnovers. I continue to believe Forsyth is kind of a steadying force.
Oh yeah, I
for this
thought
team.
he was great. The effort he brought in, some defensive plays, battling. I mean, what they had 40 some points off the bench, which is big. That's been a problem area for us.
Turns out the popcorn machine fire was just a sign that the Sooners were about to be red hot from 3, baby.
That's right. That's right.
People were trying to make
signs.
Yeah, people were saying, "Oh, this represents their season. Look at this dumpster fire." No. Opposite, nerds. Deal with it. Good win. Really good win. We all know what the record looks like. We all know what the SEC record looks like, but a couple wins in the row. Seems like the team's getting some confidence. Hey, let's play it out and see what happens. How about that?
At Tennessee next, A&M, Auburn at home, at LSU, Missouri. I mean, if you continue to play really good basketball, get some momentum, nothing says you can't go on a little run here.
Let's talk some OU women real quick. They beat Florida on Thursday, 81-74, really turned it around in the second half of that game. And thank goodness they did, because that's the type of win, like, we're starting to think about seeding for the OU women now, and that is a game you cannot lose if you're the Sooners. So we are recording this before a big one on the road at number 23 Alabama. So hopefully when we talk some OU women's hoops on Wednesday's episode, Ted, we're saying good things about what Jenny Baranchek's squad did in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. Go get a big road win against top 25 program, continue to build that resume. And, this conference is going to be incredibly tough. You've got the majority of the best teams in the country. Just continue to put yourself in a really good place. And to me, it's all about the postseason with this team and making sure that you put yourself in the best position on the bracket to make a run.
Yep. You mentioned the best teams in the country. You got 9 SEC teams in the top 25 as we're recording this in women's hoops.
It's crazy.
which includes number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and OU is number 10. So, yeah, it's rough in the SEC for women's
Busy.
hoops right now.
Very busy.
It is, but we'll see. We'll see how that game on the road goes today, and we'll recap that one on Wednesday's episode. Let's talk a little Thunder. J-Dub went down again, man. Re-aggravated the hammy right before the All-Star break. Now they beat Phoenix, but they lost to a really bad Bucks team heading into the All-Star break. It's just one of those where you look at it and you go, okay, they desperately need this All-Star break, but when a guy misses essentially a month with a hamstring injury, comes back, looks fantastic, and then tweaks it again, it makes me sad, Ted. I'm sad for Jalen Williams.
I know it. It's tough. And not knowing the nature, we've talked about hamstrings before. They can be something that some guys it rehabs really quickly, come back really, it don't have any extended issues with it. Other guys, just depend on the nature of body mechanics, nature of the injury, things can linger for a long time and be very difficult. So hopefully they could get it right, because it's been the talking point that we've had for what feels like the better part of the last couple of months. Is the only thing that could derail this team, it feels like, is health. And it's been trying really hard for the better part of the season.
No doubt. You look at it now, at the break, the Thunder are 42-14. 3-game lead over San Antonio, but you look over to the Eastern Conference and all of a sudden the Detroit Pistons actually have a better win percentage than the Thunder. So you want to have home court, certainly for the Western Conference Finals, and you want to have home court if you're in the NBA Finals. We all saw how important that was a year ago for this organization. But you got 26 games left, and it feels like, yeah, certainly being the number 1 overall seed is the goal, but you almost just hope, like, the goal is to get to the playoffs healthy. That's it. Just, hey, whatever happens, wherever you got to play the games, you'll live with it. You just need your guys. And right now, this team is struggling to have its guys on the floor.
It's been crazy. It feels like a very small percentage of the schedule has been played at full strength.
Oh, like a tiny percentage,
tiny.
It feels like.
It started right out of the gate with guys out, and there's only been just a handful of stretches where you've had everyone out there. And, it's obviously a good sign that you can weather that storm and still be in the position you're in, but I don't know. It continues to be a kind of a nervous thing as you get closer and closer, because you're going to look up here before long and be like, hang on a second, playoffs are almost here. And, I feel like this team's going to be able to step in really quickly whenever they do, hopefully get to that point and reestablish that chemistry and what it's like to play in those rotations. But the clock just continues to tick. We're getting closer and closer.
Hopefully Shea will be back in the very near future. He's doing, and now Shea and Chet both out there at the All-Star game in LA. I didn't feel it was necessary to wait for the NBA All-Star game to happen so that we could talk about it. It seems all people want to do is complain about what's going on with the All-Star game. It's Americans versus the world. There's like a round robin thing. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen, but I'm going to watch it. It is weird that the All-Star game is happening while the sun is still out here in Oklahoma City. That's going to be strange. But hey, I guess, how about we don't give NBC the All-Star game when the Olympics are happening? How about that?
Right.
The 3-point contest, which I will talk about in my winners and losers section, it happened while the sun was still out, and I was just like, what is going on here? And it was awesome, but my brain was confused. You can't have
Yeah,
a slam dunk contest when the sun's still out, Ted. That's against the rules.
I guess not. Yeah, there's a timing that we're all used to. It's like, oh, there's all-star stuff going on. Well, I know the important stuff isn't until later tonight,
I,
so I don't need to tune in yet.
I was very confused when I was like, wait, the 3-point contest is starting. It's like 3 in the afternoon. It was so
Oh, this
weird.
must be the celebrity 3-on-3 with like Ice Cube out there and stuff. I don't
Hey,
need to tune in for that.
Oklahoma City Thunder's Jared McCain wins the celebrity 3-point contest.
How about that?
How an actual NBA player that can really shoot is in the celebrity 3-point contest, I don't know. I know he's very popular on TikTok from what I'm told, but seems not fair, you know?
Hey, if you if you could game the system and find a path to victory like that, you got to take it.
He got a trophy and everything. It was great. That went better for McCain than the Shooting Stars competition went for Chet Holmgren and his team. That was a it was him, Rip Hamilton, and Scotty Barnes, and Chet even said it after. He's like, maybe we should have practiced together. It actually was pretty cool. Like I thought that it was a cool event. The shooting stuff definitely is the most popular stuff now for All-Star Weekend. But yeah, his team didn't exactly thrive, but I think it's an encouraging sign about Shea's return. He's out there doing like all the promotional stuff for his shoes for all these different companies. Like, and it's also a good reminder that you can live and play in Oklahoma City and be an absolute marketing machine. It's a good reminder.
Yep.
But I just let's see how the final 26 games of the season go. I will say the end of the season last year, like a bit uneventful because we knew what was what from a record standpoint.
Yeah.
There could be some exciting games in March and April when it comes to playoff seeding. Like there's going to be some stuff on the line in some of these regular season games for the Thunder, and that's going to be fun for the fans.
No
I'm
doubt.
excited about that.
Yeah, there's going to be some moving pieces to the top of the standings. It looks like as you get to that critical moment, and you're right. Like the number one overall, all of that stuff, it's important, but the biggest thing is to get there healthy, and then what happens. But hopefully that happens sooner rather than later, and you can go get that number one seed and be in a really good position as the playoffs start.
Just get everyone back, please. AJ Mitchell included. I miss watching AJ Mitchell. Guy's a baller, creator, bucket getter. We need everyone back. If we got everyone to feel good about our chances against anyone, but just a little banged up.
We're not to the point yet where we need someone to go light a popcorn machine on fire at Paycom, but let's keep that in our back pocket, just in case we need it.
Well put.
Mm-hmm.
Let's finish up with our winners and losers of the weekend. But first, for all of us Sooners, there comes a time when we need help. We need someone to fight for us, and that Sooner is Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. If you are battling cancer or any other life-threatening condition and your insurance carrier is either slow playing or outright denying your treatment, use the law to get the medical care you need. Marr Law Firm believes you shouldn't have to fight your insurance company while also fighting for your life. Go to see Jeff Marr at the Marr Law Firm. They turn victims of insurance bad faith into champions. And 3 things matter in banking: service, service, and service. And First Fidelity Bank's commitment to exceptional service is more than a promise. It's their foundation. FFB has been by your side for over a century, and they are honored to be a part of your journey. Banking isn't about where you've been, it's about where you are headed. Open an account at an award-winning bank today at ffb.com. At First Fidelity Bank, we go where you go.
Bishop McGuinness Catholic High School represents a tradition of educational excellence in Oklahoma City. Grounded in a faith-based education, Bishop McGuinness offers a college prep curriculum that includes 26 AP courses, participation in OSSAA athletics, and numerous clubs and organizations for students to join and grow. If you want to provide the best possible educational and spiritual development for your children, contact Bishop McGuinness Catholic High School or visit bmchs.org financial aid is available.
And go to opolisclothing.com and use promo code OB10 for 10% off our podcast merchandise and the best OU gear around. That's opolisclothing.com and use promo code OB10. Buttery soft and 10% off. As always, Ted, kicks off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
I'm glad I was a night owl last night. Got a text from a buddy. It's like, hey, turn it over to the LIV. Anthony Kim's on one right now. Sweet. Tuned in, and literally the second I got it on the TV, he lets a putt go and drills a birdie. And is that not like the coolest round of golf you've watched in a long time?
It is one of the most entertaining rounds of golf I've ever watched. And clearly we've got our bias. Like, Anthony Kim's an OU guy. Boomer Sooner, AK. He's an Oklahoma City guy. I see him all the time.
Yep.
So, and I'm familiar with the story, and it's one of the coolest things I can remember in recent sports history. Like, that dude sabotaged himself, essentially, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and if you're not familiar with Anthony Kim, this guy was on his way. You go back to 2008 with the Ryder Cup when he beat Sergio Garcia, just dominates him, dog walks him. People were talking about, it was like Anthony Kim was in the same breath, the same conversation as Tiger Woods. That's how good he was. This was a guy that was ranked, I think, 6th in the world at one point, and was young and had everything in front of him, and then tears the Achilles and disappears off the face of the earth for over a decade. And now he's back out-dueling John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau in the final group of a golf tournament. And not only out-dueling, like, those guys wilted. And
drove around him in the fast lane.
And he just got stronger and stronger, and birdie after birdie after birdie. And he's a fist-pumping fool, and he is letting it all out as those putts were dropping. Dude, it was pure cinema, man. It was absolutely electric. I was in bed. The only person fist-bumping harder than Anthony Kim was all of us watching, supporting the guy. Like, I was freaking out. My wife was like, you need to calm down. I was like, I refuse. I will not. It was, dude, it's the most fun I've had watching golf. Like, I was sitting there getting goosebumps watching him do what he did. It was incredible, bro.
The putting was incredible. Couldn't miss. The hole looked like a hula hoop to him. And that iron off the tee, man, and the iron play from the fairway and some of those shots, he was just dialed. And it was awesome to see, like, everyone there. I don't know if you go to I would imagine if you go to an event, it's cool to see like one of the superstars, Rahm or DeChambeau, someone, put together a crazy back nine and win it. But this is one of those situations where nobody cared about that. Everyone saw this story, and like, this was the guy. Today, everyone in the world's rooting for Anthony Kim, and it was great to see him finish it out. That was awesome cinema, as good as it gets in golf.
He played on LIV. Now I keep up with LIV Golf pretty good because of a couple of the guys that play on the tour. And he didn't score a single point over the last 2 years. And especially you go back 2 seasons, like he was essentially the worst golfer on the tour. But
because I don't know, I'm sure he never totally stopped playing golf, but
no, he did. He
totally
didn't play. He has said publicly he didn't play golf for like a decade.
Yeah, and
like
to be able, he ain't no spring chicken anymore either.
He's 40.
It's a young man's game. To be able to step back in and Even if it's for a brief moment, to go out there against the best in the world and perform like that is just, it's no, not only is it awesome to watch, it's incredibly rare. And I don't know, like, I was trying to think last night of like some type of precedent of something similar, and I can't even really think of one.
I I have no idea. I mean, maybe if Andrew Luck came back in like 3 years and took a team to the playoffs or something like that. Like, I don't
Yeah,
like
it's
this.
it's strange. Someone that's totally checked out from the sport to reemerge, and like I said, I don't, who knows what happens in the future, but even for a moment to go out there and put 3 rounds together like that, just awesome.
I 4 rounds. They play four now on LIV.
4. Yeah.
Yeah, rule change. And dude, to be in the final group with the two biggest stars on that tour and to just completely outplay them. I'm telling you, if you didn't watch it, go watch it. The crowd, and you're right, Ted. This tournament is in Australia, and I saw it's the most well attended tournament in the history of Australia.
It looked, I was like, that's the first thing I noticed when I turned on. I was like, dang, this place is packed.
Yeah, so they're doing something right with their tournament over there. But dude, to watch that, essentially that entire crowd get behind him, that scene on 18 where they're all coming in behind him, like it's Tiger Woods at the Masters or something.
Yeah.
Dude, I was sitting there going, this is one of the best sporting things I've ever watched. And it was clearly the connections played a huge role in it. But for a guy to do, let's just be real, the self-harm that he did and to disappear when everyone was saying this guy's going to be a superstar, to just reemerge, really struggle. Remember, he got relegated off the tour after last season.
Yeah.
Had to earn his way back, played really well in their first event over in Saudi Arabia, and then just comes out and golfs the absolute hell out of his ball.
Dude, I can't imagine how hard it is mentally to stay in it and not. And you saw, I think it was on 18, whenever he finally got up to the green, you could see his face like, I can't believe this is happening right now. This is insane. But like, to just stay in the moment and continue to hit shots and make putts and not separate yourself for a second and say, I can't believe, like, this is crazy that this, and then you could easily lose the magic that you've got. And he didn't flinch. I was worried though. I was like, dude, don't mess up that right shoulder. Don't throw those swing mechanics off. Those were some like violent fist pumps, and we were all doing it with it. It was crazy.
I think that's one of the things that made it so special. It wasn't, I love Scheffler. I love the guy. He doesn't show emotion like that.
Give me some emotion. Let's go.
And that was one of the things that made watching what Anthony Kim was doing so fun. It's like, dude, I'm feeling the way that guy's feeling. He's letting it all out. Like, he's screaming fist bump, double fist bump. Like, it was fantastic, man. I have not had that much fun watching golf in a long time.
Dude,
the story's crazy. It's crazy, dude.
It's crazy. Fairway, 10 to 15 feet. Fairway, 10 to 15 feet. Oh, I bury it. 10 to 15, bury it. That round where he made, I think 4 straight birdies on the back was just electric. So cool.
And maybe the coolest moment
on it, man.
The way he's hitting the ball right now, and the confidence that I assume comes from feeling that feeling again. Dude, it's his first win since April of 2010.
It's crazy, dude.
It's crazy, dude. But it's one of those things where it's like, is Anthony Kim about to be back to being one of the best players in the world? A guy that I see once a week hitting like 6-foot putts for hours. It's like credit to him, man. He got sober. He's put that, he's put those demons behind him. Like he's all in on being a dad and stuff. And like it is, he said it after, like it is giving him a purpose.
Yeah.
And that purpose has led to him playing some dang good golf, man. He is. I'm not going to put limits on the guy. I know that LIV isn't the PGA Tour, but I think we all can recognize when a guy's playing elite golf and when he's not. And that Sunday performance. That was elite golf, no matter where it is. Like that was crazy good.
And awesome for OU golf. When's the last time you had, back-to-back wins like that? Loud wins. You know what I'm saying?
OU golf, man, the center of the golf universe right now between Goddard and Anthony Kim.
So cool.
We will effort both. We need to get both of those guys on the pod.
Have to.
But two different situations, two different stories. But we can't. We got to finish the Anthony Kim conversation with. There is nothing better than watching little kids run on their green and hug their dads when they win tournaments.
How awesome
my
was
gosh!
That scene?
Oh, that had to be the best feeling in the world for Anthony Kim. I can't. I watched his post round presser. And he was like, "That's the best moment of my life so far."
Yep.
And one thing that he said that I was like, "Man, that's heavy." He was like, "Now my daughter knows her daddy isn't a loser."
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, "Dang," because you could just tell. Like he knows what he squandered. No one knows better than him. But like he's kind of back now, man. I don't know. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. Couldn't be happier. And I'm trying to figure out if he's just going to win the rest of the stops, the rest of the season. Is that what we should expect? Just go ahead and win the rest of it, man. Go do it. Go do your thing. Awesome.
Wonder if he racks up another win. Like, are we talking? He's getting some mail from Augusta in the future. I don't know, dude. He's the top story in golf.
Yep.
My timeline has never looked like that before. No. It was Anthony Kim, Anthony Kim, Anthony Kim, Anthony Kim, live golf, live golf, live golf. It was just, now it was very late on a Saturday night, but it was, I don't know, dude. That was so cool.
Hey, if you're golf, you got to capture that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's depending on, even for the foreseeable future, you feel like he's going to continue to play well, and maybe this kind of ignites something. But I imagine it's going to be a big talking point for some time if he continues to play well, for sure.
Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Man, I got to go with the small SEC ballparks because OU baseball's got some offense, baby. Let's go. Started off the season Friday with the game against Texas Tech. They're down there at Globe Life. That's a big park. Hit 3 home runs in that game. Beat Tech 10-3. Cam Johnson got the start. He's been an interesting project. He transferred from LSU, came out of high school as a kid that a lot of people thought was going to be just boom, straight to the majors. Has had some command issues, but came in and looked fantastic against Tech. So hopefully he continues to build on that. He's got some fire from the mound and some confidence, and that's kind of been missing the last couple of years. Looked great, handled Tech, and then they had Oklahoma State yesterday afternoon and continued to pour the offense on, won that one 10-1, spraying the ball all over the park. And they got a big one tonight. TCU is considered by most people to be one of the top favorites to win the whole thing. They've got a unit together this year. So it's still early enough in the season where you can't take a whole lot from it. But I mean, this is as good as an early matchup to see where you are as you could ask for, and they're cruising right now, looking really good.
I think it helps when your starters strike out 11 and then 12.
Yep.
I don't know a ton about pitching.
Right.
I'm told that's good.
Excellent.
We gonna be a little more dialed into baseball this season. Is that what we're planning on? You've been our baseball guy.
I watched more college baseball last year than probably my entire life combined. And I plan on building on that this season. So my hope is yes.
Okay. I can commit to watching more baseball, but this is just the truth. I'm going to watch OU baseball and OU softball. That's pretty much it, which for this podcast is all I really need, right? But if for the other stuff when it comes to college baseball, I will lean on you and I will lean on our buddy Eddie Radosevich for any other college baseball knowledge I need. But I'll watch the Sooners. That's my pledge.
Don't lean on me too hard because I don't know a whole lot, but I'll be watching and listening whenever I have to T-Row on the call. It's been fun, man. I really enjoyed watching SEC baseball last year and being a part of that. We're going to have some great home series this year. They're making some changes to the ballpark. You'll be able to go out there. The opponent bullpen is going to be in left field. So go pile around that and talk a bunch of trash to the opponents. It's going to be awesome out there.
So we're excited. Our official stance is we're going to watch more, and we are very excited for Oklahoma baseball. That's where that's our official stance. Got it.
They got some good promising arms, and the offense, they made some really nice additions in the portal. Offensively, there should be a big upgrade in power this year, which, the SEC, really good baseball, but there's a bunch of small parks. Hopefully we're able to take advantage of that this year. Last year didn't have nearly as much power.
LJ Mercurius. That's a sweet baseball name.
Yeah.
I think I said that right. That man delivered in his first start. I know that.
Yep.
Yeah, you hate to see the Sooners just dog walking the Cowboys in a bedlam matchup. You hate to see it. What was it, 10-1?
10-1. Feel bad for those guys,
They've got a really nice baseball stadium up there in Stillwater.
Well,
what a shame.
Good for them.
Good for them. All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OKBreakdown to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. We all make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. And it's so simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, and they put their users first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure, and they also offer injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the Prize Picks app and use code OKBreakdown to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code OKBreakdown to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, for my winner of the weekend, Damian Lillard.
Okay.
I kind of thought it was a typo when I saw he was participating in the three-point contest because he hasn't played in a single game all year.
Well,
Ted, this guy tore his Achilles at the playoffs last season. And all of a
Well,
sudden, he's out there winning the 3-point contest.
he's back. He's making the round. He's getting back. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Pretty cool though
I,
for him.
it was a great storyline. It made me watch. I was like, let's see how Dame looks. Oh, he can still shoot the absolute heck out of the basketball. And there was the 3-point contest has become the best event of the NBA All-Star weekend. I think everyone agrees on that. It was, and the end of this thing was very exciting because Devin Booker had 3 balls on the last rack to win it. I think if he would have made one of them, he would have tied Dame. If he makes 2, he wins. He misses all 3, and everyone was like, what? It was actually pretty riveting, but Damian Lillard still coming back from the Achilles. By the way, he's back with Portland. He was with Milwaukee. I don't know if you remember that whole thing that happened in the off seasons that was a little strange, but he's back with the Trailblazers where he belongs. And I don't know, it's just really cool to watch the guy go out there, shoot the absolute heck out of it, and win the 3-point contest, even though he's coming back from a very, very tough injury, especially at his age. I don't know. I thought it was really entertaining.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I still, when I think of Damian Lillard, I think of that 3 he buried in the playoffs, which is one of the best shots I've ever seen.
It is arguably the most important moment in Oklahoma City Thunder history. The domino effect of that shot going in and it leading to where the organization is at today, like the defending champs, like that. Thank you, Dame Lillard. Thank you so much.
I couldn't see it at the time, but
I still feel the pain of the shot going in. I still feel it. I remember exactly where I was, but it kind of set the table for where we're at now. And it's, we should do nothing but thank Damian Lillard.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, it was hard at the time, but you got to wait.
Paul George and Damian Lillard. I just want to give you both huge hugs every time I see you.
That's right, man. That's cool for him though. Good sign that he's on the mend and on his way back.
This was Damian Lillard's 3rd 3-point contest win. Now, I believe it started in 1986, 1985 or 1986. There are only 2 other guys that have won it 3 times. Quiz time. Think you can name them?
Well,
one is like okay, yeah.
Larry Bird.
Correct. If you get the other one, you are an absolute hoop head, dude.
Not a hoop head and wouldn't even know where to go to guess.
Craig Hodges.
Dang it. That's what I was going to say.
that was where you were going next.
That's where I was going.
Of course, Craig.
Oh, shit.
I love Craig. Dunk contest, until the big time names want to participate in it, it feels kind of dead, right?
Yep. And
I thought some of the dunks were actually pretty cool. Johnson from the Heat did some really cool ones. Carter Bryant did some really cool ones, but it's just people want to see star players in the dunk contest, and it seems like that's just dead for whatever reason.
Yeah. A good sign that it's changed is I didn't see it. And, that's always been what I follow. When the All-Star break, when it's like, All-Star weekend's coming up, that's boom, right where my mind goes is to the dunk contest. And yeah, it's changed over the years because it's, you'll have some guys that in there, but I mean, it's just different whenever you don't have the star power. And, a lot of the talk leading up to it previously, whenever you did have some more star power, is like, who's going to win it? Like talking about, the different things you might see. But now it's just, you kind of tune in and it's almost like, and I guess it's kind of natural that the dunk contest, from what it originally was, like it's kind of veered off into like it's a thing of its own. like the slam dunk world and some of those athletes that participate in that. And I guess it's kind of natural for it to be a little bit different of a fringe thing that in order to be really good at it, it's got to be something that you really work on a lot because the level has gone so high. You can't show up and, just do a two-hand tomahawk like Dominique Wilkins did, which was amazing. I love, but the game has changed, man. And I guess I understand why the stars are less likely to be drawn to it, but it's still better when they do.
I don't know if this comparison makes any sense. And maybe it's just the Anthony Kim stuff still at the top of my mind. But it's like the dunk contest is starting to feel like long drive competitions to me.
Yeah,
Where
that's a great comparison.
where you're
Got
like
a totally different cast of characters. It's a different
like
sport.
yeah, it's like it's still part of the sport, but you got to be like specializing in it. And it's like these long drive guys aren't out there winning golf tournaments. They're working on hitting the ball as far as they can. And it's like that's how it feels like with the dunk contest is
That's right.
it may just be more entertaining for them to get a collection of the best dunkers in the world and for that to be the dunk contest. But will people be interested in that? I don't know. All I know is, did you see those dunks that Mac McClung put out that he was going to do if he was in it?
No.
Oh my gosh, dude. Professional dunker. I mean, stuff you've never seen.
Yeah, he's crazy. I remember watching him in high school and being like, what is this dude? Yeah, he's special. I need to go check that out. I hadn't seen that.
If I can't get Anthony Edwards, if I can't get guys like that, just give me McClung over and over again.
Yeah.
Give me professional dunkers that are going to do stuff that makes me go, oh my God. But I don't know. Maybe it's a problem that doesn't need to be solved.
Not really.
3-point contest is great. The Shooting Stars event with like the 7 different spots, like that had some suspense. Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns team with Allen Houston, they won that one. That was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
But the dunk contest has gone from the crown jewel of NBA All-Star Weekend to the bottom of the totem pole.
It's weird.
I'm mixing analogies there. There's the totem pole, there's jewels. I don't know. But you know what I mean.
Well, it's just kind of interesting that Jordan kind of set this weird precedent, like to be the best player in the world. You got to go win the dunk contest. You got to win the scoring title. You got to be, all defense. It's kind of weird. And I know Kobe won a dunk contest. It felt like it was a box that you had to check at some point, that you had to have a dunk contest on your resume to be able to stack up against, whatever the Rushmore of the sport, whatever. But, LeBron never even entered. And it's just, I guess that has totally changed. And maybe I think there's a lot of pressure there. Like for LeBron, it was like, if you enter, you have to win it. If you don't win it, it becomes this big mark against you. And I kind of feel like that's what's happened with the Stars. It's like, I could get in it and do really good, but I'm competing against a guy that's basically like a professional dunker. It's a risk that they just didn't want to take, I think.
I think if LeBron James would have said, I'll do it, but I get to pick the other guys that are going to be in it, I think the NBA
probably would have let him do that too.
No doubt. I think behind the scenes, they'd be like, absolutely. Let's it. Who cares? Let's rig this thing so he wins. I think they would have done that. I really do.
LeBron James versus Yao Ming in this year's dunk contest.
All right. For my loser of the week, my loser of the weekend, I think this is a podcast first.
Okay.
Ilia Malinin.
Yeah.
The quad god. Football guys talking figure skating here, Ted.
Let's
Definitely a
go.
first, I think.
I'm I'm actually pretty prepared for this segment.
Watching him unravel in the free skate made me physically uncomfortable, Ted.
Yeah.
Guy was a massive favorite to win the gold medal. And this is, from what I can gather, everyone agrees, head and shoulders, the best figure skater on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And in the biggest moment of his career, on the biggest stage in the sport, he unraveled in front of all of our eyes.
Yep.
And it was crazy to watch, dude.
I know. What's interesting is like figure skating is it's weird because everyone's not on like there's levels to it, but you're not all going out. It's not like high jump where you go jump the highest, you win. Like everyone's got these starting values, and whenever he goes out for his routine, like he's got like a big cushion because of how difficult it is that he can make quite a few mistakes and still go win the thing. And it started, I think it was his first like major pass where instead of hitting one of the quads, he just like doubled it or something. And it's like it set the snowball in motion that it's like he never recovered from that. And it just started to melt away. And that cushion disappeared on him really quickly.
I don't know anything about figure skating, but from what I understood, all he had to do was deliver like a C plus
Mm-hmm.
performance for himself, and he was going to win a gold medal.
You got to hit. Well, he does something that no one else does. If you go hit the trick or the move that no one else does, like after that, you're kind of just get through the rest of the program, you know?
I
And he didn't even attempt it.
fell twice, bunch of other mistakes. I usually, with sports I don't know a lot about, I usually lean on the announcers, like in their reactions to how shocked I should be.
Mm-hmm.
And there were points in this routine that the announcers just like stopped speaking.
So I think one of them said, "I've never seen him make mistakes like this."
It it was they did a tremendous job of relaying like how shocked I should be.
Right.
And I felt bad for the guy, man. Like, but this is this what happens when you give yourself a nickname like the Quad God? He gave it to himself, Ted.
I got to be honest. I, you know, I need to first of all, my wife at gunpoint, I had to watch I think it was a Netflix special of like the ice dancing coming in.
Glitter and something.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I controversial, right?
Yeah. Yeah. With some of the pairings and all that stuff. But I'll say this, it was great to know some of the backstory and some of like what the drama really is coming into it. So I've kind of been dialed in and like whenever I started, because ice dancing, they're different, but you know, it's in the same world. So you kind of see it, there's some mix there. And I was watching him, I was like, you know, when you're, when you got a nickname like that and you're wearing your own gear, it's like you're kind of setting yourself up a little bit. I mean, confidence is good, but it seems like we're spewing over the lines here.
Nicknamed himself the Quad God, and his demise at the Olympics comes via the quad.
Mm.
Are people are asking, are the skating gods sending a message? I don't know. I don't know. I dude, I because I knew who he was. I knew he was a massive favorite. I was like, I'm gonna watch this. It's gonna be sweet. Watch this guy win gold. He's the best in the world at what he does. I typically, if you're the best in the world at what you do, I'll typically watch it and be entertained.
Mhm.
And then it was a car wreck, dude. I couldn't look away. I was like, oh my gosh, oh no.
The skating gods are tough, and like if the skating gods are going to teach a lesson in being humble, they're they're going to show you like, okay, you got a little overextended here.
Mm.
Just to prove our point, the gold medal winner is going to be a 21-year-old nerd with braces from Kazakhstan who's been skating in a mall. Okay. So just to reset the whole scene and kind of go back and have some humility and look at this thing from a different light. Here you go.
Malinin finishes 8th. Massive gold medal favorite. It was so bad. The not even close to a podium.
No.
8th. From what I understand, it's like one of the more stunning results in Olympics history. That's kind of how it was like painted to me.
Without an injury or anything else,
Yeah,
like, and having a lead going into the final event and
just a
just
meltdown, dude.
meltdown, which I hate. I mean,
Yeah, he's
that's
American.
tough.
Like I'm cheered for the quad god.
That's like mentally that it can be very difficult to recover from, you know?
His face, like when he finished and then was coming off the ice, I was like, once again, I was sitting on the couch watching it. I was very uncomfortable. Like watching him fall, make all the mistakes, listening to the announcers, relay how shocking it was, and then just seeing it all kind of like wash over him. It was one of those where I was just sitting there going, oh, I can't look away, but I don't like it. I don't like this at all. And it's
And
figure skating. I don't know anything about figure skating. I don't care about figure skating, but it just, oh, it was
and
just
the
a
harsh
disaster,
reality
dude.
is, yeah, it's a disaster. And the harsh reality is, the producer out in the truck outside the arena is like, quick, get a camera in his face instantly. We need someone 3 feet away from him with the camera like zoomed in on his face. Get a microphone over there to catch everything that he's saying. Just a tough spot to be in.
To his credit, he was like, I blew it. Straight
Yep.
up. But sports, you've got what happened to the quad god, and then you've got what we watched Anthony Kim do.
I know it.
I
Drama.
It's what makes sports the best, dude. The highs and the lows, the successes and the heartbreaks. It's what makes sports special.
There
It's
you go.
incredible,
There you go. Compelling.
compelling. Birthday shout outs. Happy 6th birthday to Everett Bubs Martin.
Happy birthday, Bubs. And happy 30th birthday to Matthew McLaughlin.
On that note, episode 606 in the books. We'll have a new podcast that'll drop on Wednesday. Just a reminder, please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, please check out our website, okbreakdown.com, for all of our stuff in one spot. Hope you all have a great start to your week. And until next time, we appreciate y'all for listening. Do what you always do, Oklahoma. Take care of each other.